oh, do you eat dog meat? They think bad ways about my country. I remember even myself, I asked some very silly questions. So I hear a story about people getting offended when the people from the other country ask about some stereotype questions. For Chinese would be like, oh, do you eat dog meat? Some people, they could not understand why there would be something like a one-child policy. Some people get very offended because they thought, oh, they think bad ways about me, they think bad ways about my country. I don't think you should get so easily pissed or offended, because a lot of times those people, they want to know information. You can educate them what's the truth or what's the right way for them to see it. Confidently present your culture, confidently present where you're from. For me, I would say, oh, not every Chinese eat dog meat. If I go out hang out with friends, there's nobody would say let's go eat dog meat. There's only a couple few areas or places that people do it. I'm sure in the history book there are some really weird stories about what food choices people made to survive when there's no food. It might become the hope of their survival and gets passed through the generation. There's also at least 15 other places outside of China where people also eat dogs. So I think it's more because you're not feeling confident. That's why you take things too seriously, or you get offended easily. Of course, there are situations where maybe that person is a jerk and he's trying to challenge you or laughing at your culture or whatever. And then it's even more important for you to explain in a confident way of what it is and educate the people, educate the crowd. Most of the time I found people open-minded and they sincerely just want to learn what it is. And here you go. You pictured a better image of your people, of your culture. You're a fun person to talk to. And sometimes if you don't have a good answer to those questions, you can do your research. I actually did my research on what kind of people are eating dogs in China, and then I get educated. At the same time, I remember even myself, I asked some very silly questions. I remember one of my good Indian friend, he is still a very dear friend to me until this day, since 7 years ago. I asked him questions like, oh, can you do Bollywood dance? Are you gonna go home and cook curry? I remember this year he was like, yeah, you did ask me some stereotype questions. Like, it could be a little bit offensive, like silly sometimes. So I just want you guys to remember that sometimes people don't really mean bad when they ask you those questions. They're just trying to, start a conversation. They just want to express their interest of knowing you, of knowing your culture. They just want to find something to talk about with you, which is not a bad intention. It will be a great idea to learn how to represent your country, collect those questions, and then think about how to answer them in a good way.